Alrighty, so say hello to everyone. It's Devil's Hand. Today we're going to be learning the basics of rope dart. I'm going to be showing wraps, shots, slashes, handling, and footwork. Right. One thing I will say before I get started, everyone's going to see me with this nice little packing trick that I do with my rope. One thing I do want you to know, this will be gone over in the intermediate tutorial, so hold on to your horses, it's coming. First thing we're going to start off with is handling the rope. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my rope real quick, stretch it out good so I got a little rope to handle. As you notice, this rope is not really long. It's not the proper length. The proper length is 13.5 feet. This rope is actually 8.5 feet. It's a smaller particular rope, and the big deal with a smaller rope is that they move quicker, so you have to move quicker. So I would suggest not using a short rope unless you possibly want to injure yourself. It can wrap around you and hit you in places that you didn't think was possible. So let's get started. Handling the rope. Now, I'm right-handed mostly. I can be ambi and work with both hands. However, for the majority of my time, I'm right-handed. For those people that are left-handed, it would be the same, you know, just in your left hand. And of course, I will try my best to keep into consideration that we do have left-handed people in the world. So, handling the rope is pretty simple. You don't really have to move around a lot. All you got to do is just keep the rope moving in circular pattern around you. You know, like I'll move from side to side here so that I can show you a better view of actually moving the rope from one side to the other. This is very basic. This is just handling the rope, okay? Now you saw me just turn and change direction just then, okay? Now what I did to change direction is you keep turning the rope counterclockwise, and then you keep it going and turn, okay? So that in the end, it will end out looking like this. And that will make you go clockwise. You will notice that after you have turned, your rope will not be going counterclockwise anymore. It will be going clockwise. Okay? This is to lead off into a shoot. We will explain this later in another minute, but not right now. So just keep in mind that it comes out counterclockwise. You know you've done it right if you make the turn and you're still rotating and it's gone counterclockwise instead of, well, it's gone clockwise instead of counterclockwise, pardon me. Okay, so you start off counterclockwise, changing positions across your body. It does help to tuck your arm. Make sure that the rope doesn't glide across your arm, you know. So you just turn and it comes out clockwise. Okay. Now I know for you from this point of view it's coming out counterclockwise. It's because you're on the opposite end. When you're actually handling the rope, it will come out clockwise. Yes, I know I'm smoking a cigarette. Okay. So, handling the rope while moving. Now, you can continue to hold the rope and cross back and forth like so. You can continue to do so. But very rarely are you ever going to walk in a straight line. You need to know how to be able to move. Now, this is where footwork comes really important. See, footwork and handling the rope are the two things that work simultaneously side by side. You have to have both, or else something's going to get wrapped up and you're going to get hit, and you know, potentially not in an area that you want to get hit in. So, handling the rope while moving. This is where footwork comes into play. Okay? Now, I'm going to try to back up a little bit so that you can get some good visual shots of my feet while I'm moving. You can also check out the rest of my tutorials and my practice videos that you will also be able to see all of my footwork in for the most part. So, here we go. I'm going to start off doing a little bit of crisscrossed scissor sprints is the actual name for it. Scissor sprints is what I'm actually going to start off doing, is a little bit of scissor sprints. So while handling the rope, mind you, while handling the rope, okay, you start off with your feet somewhat together, one foot out front, the other foot slightly at an angle behind you. Okay, what you want to do is you want to cross. Okay, these are scissor sprints. Alright, keep constant notice of the way that I move my feet. It is very important. All foot positioning leads to the positioning of the body and the hips, which also determines the rotation. If your hips are in one specific area, but yet you're over here doing this, you're bound to get smacked somewhere, and it's not going to be pretty. Alright, also, not only does your foot placement determine as your hips rotation and the rotation of the dart, but there are some moves later on that will be disclosed in the advanced tutorial that will counteract against one another. Okay, the footwork will go one way, but the dart will go another, and you will still be able to achieve your goal. These are called off-balance shots. Okay, the whole point of this is that it's a fake. It shows your enemy that you're moving one direction while you're actually moving another. Makes it look off balance. Okay? So, back to handling while moving. Now, backing up a little bit so that you can see my footwork a little better. Okay? Stretch your legs a little bit. Get them warmed up so that you're used to moving them. You don't want stiffness at all. Okay? So, now, footwork. Scissor sprints. Okay? Those are scissor sprints, going from left and right, both sides. Okay? I know in my devil's hand practice video, a lot of people saw me do the little thing where I was kind of crisscrossing but rotating around in a circle, and I walked off screen. That is a basic of movement and motion with the rope while it is moving around you. You know, it would be somewhat equivalent to blocking or just defending, keeping your enemy at bay. Okay, so think of it as your own personal force field. It's like the shield. You know, you put it out in front of you to keep everybody else away from you. Okay, so this is my shield, my little bubble. Nothing can come in my little bubble. I keep everything out of my little bubble. Extend a little bit further if I want. See, I've got the rope fully stretched. This is my bubble. This is my area, my zone. Know the limits of your zone. This is key to this particular weapon. This weapon cannot reach outside of its zone. It will not do it. Namely because it is tethered to your wrist. Thus being, it's just like an archer. That arrow has a specific amount of distance that it can travel. That is its zone.